What if... A simple question that opens up a world of possibilities, and what better place to explore those than the world of Marvel? From comics to the big screen, we've always been fascinated with stories that revolve around alternate realities, divergent timelines, and characters making different choices. In this video, we're diving deep into the infinite potential of the multiverse. We'll examine some scenarios based on Marvel's What If comics and the animated series, where one single event plays out differently and completely changes the trajectory of a character's life, or even the fate of the entire MCU. So get ready for a wild ride through time and space as we answer some burning what-if questions about your favorite Marvel heroes and villains. But before we jump in, be sure to like and subscribe for more amazing content. And who knows, you might just learn a thing or two along the way. Alright, let's do this. Divergent timelines. One of the most thrilling aspects of the multiverse is the concept of divergent timelines. This theory proposes that every decision, action, or even thought creates a new branching path in time, leading to infinite alternate realities. In other words, every time someone makes a choice, the universe splits and creates a new version of itself where the opposite choice was made. This theory suggests that there are countless versions of ourselves out there, each living a slightly different life based on the decisions we've made. But it also raises some fascinating questions when applied to the MCU. What if Tony Stark had decided not to become Iron Man? How would the Avengers have fared without his genius and resources? What if Captain America had rejected the super soldier serum? Would he still have become a legendary hero without it? These are the kinds of questions that keep fans theorizing and debating long after the credits have rolled. By exploring these divergent timelines, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the choices our heroes have made and the challenges they've faced along the way. And who knows, we may just discover some surprising alternate versions of our favorite characters along the way. The comics influence. The idea of answering what-if questions about our favorite fictional characters is nothing new. In fact, it's been a staple of the comic book world since the dawn of Marvel. Back in the early 1970s, Marvel published a series of stories that took readers on journeys through alternate realities, where iconic characters made different choices or faced different circumstances. These stories were a hit with fans and paved the way for future explorations of the multiverse. Today, the concept has evolved and expanded, with writers taking full advantage of the infinite possibilities offered by the multiverse. Recent storylines like the 2018 What If series by Marvel Comics have taken these concepts even further, imagining alternate realities where everything from the snap of a finger to the death of a loved one plays out in a completely different way. These stories often feature iconic characters such as Iron Man, Hulk, and Spider-Man, but they imagine alternate versions of these heroes with unique abilities, motivations, and backstories. By exploring these what-if scenarios, fans get a chance to see their favorite characters in a whole new light and consider the many paths their lives could have taken. It's a fun and engaging way to explore the depths of the Marvel Universe and all its infinite possibilities. What if Hulk went to Spidey Heaven? In the comics, there's an interesting storyline where the Hulk goes to Spidey Heaven, which is essentially a peaceful and relaxing afterlife for Spider-Man. In this reality, the Hulk has finally found peace and contentment after a lifetime of anger and violence. He's lounging on a beach, sipping a fruity drink and generally just soaking up the sun. But how did he get there? Well, it turns out that Spider-Man played a key role in helping the Hulk reach this state of tranquility. In the storyline, Spider-Man sacrifices himself to save the Hulk from a common enemy, and in doing so, inadvertently sends the Hulk's consciousness to Spidey Heaven. What I don't want, I wore, At first, the Hulk is resistant to the idea of moving on and finds it difficult to let go of his anger and pain. But over time, with the help of his fellow Spidey Heaven residents, he gradually learns to relax and enjoy his eternal vacation. This storyline is a nice change of pace from the usual Hulk stories, which often involve him rampaging through cities and battling the Avengers. It has a chance to see him in a more reflective and introspective mood as he comes to terms with his past and learns to let go of his anger. Overall, it has a fun and heartwarming story that explores the bonds of friendship and the importance of moving on from past trauma. Plus, it's always great to see the Hulk in a more chill and laid-back setting. Just imagine him in a hammock with a good book and a cold beverage. Now that's a sight I never expected to see. What if Thor was banished as a child? Imagine if this banishment happened when Thor was just a young child. It would have had a massive impact on not only Thor, but the entire MCU. Let's break it down. If Thor had been banished as a baby, he wouldn't have grown up in Asgard and received the proper training and education that came with it. Without the guidance of Odin, Frigga, and the other Asgardian warriors, young Thor would have likely grown up with a lot of anger and resentment towards his father and the people of Asgard. Imagine a Thor who grew up with a thirst for revenge, seeking to one day take over Asgard and punish his father for what he did to him. But it wouldn't just be Thor who suffered. The people of Asgard would have lost a powerful and beloved leader in Thor, a warrior who was destined to protect his people and uphold their honor. Instead, they would have been left vulnerable to the threats that lay beyond their borders. And let's not forget about the impact it would have on Loki. Growing up without his brotherly bond with Thor, Loki might have felt even more isolated and misunderstood, leading him to double down on his villainous ways. Perhaps Loki would have become even more powerful and influential, eventually taking the throne for himself. It's a bleak thought, but it's not impossible. Overall, banishing Thor as a child would have had devastating consequences for the entire MCU. We'd likely see a much darker and more vengeful Thor, more powerful and ruthless Loki, and the people of Asgard would be left to fend for themselves against the forces of evil. It's a scary thought, but it makes for a pretty interesting what-if scenario. What if Thanos joined the Avengers? Thanos, despite being one of the most feared and powerful villains in the MCU, actually shares a lot of similarities with the Avengers. He's a strong believer in balance and doing what he feels is right, even if it means going against the wishes of others. Imagine if Thanos had decided to join the Avengers and use his powers and resources to help them achieve their goals. How would the team dynamic change with the addition of such a powerful and controversial member? Thanos' unique perspective and unwavering commitment to his beliefs could bring a new level of complexity to the team's discussions and decision-making processes. He might even be able to help the Avengers see things from a different angle and consider alternative solutions to their problems. However, having Thanos on the team would undoubtedly come with its challenges. His history as a villain and his willingness to do whatever it takes to achieve his goals could put him at odds with the rest of the Avengers. The team would have to carefully navigate these differences and find a way to work together despite their contrasting viewpoints.
Ultimately,
the addition of Thanos to the Avengers would shake things up in a major way. It would be a fascinating experiment to see how the team would evolve and adapt to having such a powerful and unpredictable member. But it's probably for the best that he stayed on the other side of the battlefield. So there you have it. Just a few of the many, many what-if scenarios that could have drastically altered the course of the MCU. But now it's time to hear from you. What are your thoughts on these alternate realities? And how do you think they would have affected the characters in the story? Also, don't hesitate to share your own what-if questions in the comments below. Who knows? Your ideas might just spark the next great MCU storyline. Till then, keep watching, keep theorizing, and stay excited for all the multiverse mayhem that's yet to come. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the infinite possibilities of the multiverse. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave us a thumbs up and subscribe for more mind-bending adventures. And hey, if you want to keep the party going, we've got plenty more videos to keep you entertained. Just click on the links on your screen and get ready to dive into even more amazing content. Thanks for watching. Till next time, stay curious and keep questioning the what-ifs, because that's where the real adventures begin.